We have just arrived at one of the oldest mountain ranges on Earth, home to some of the most iconic outback scenery in the country, while also being full of forgotten tracks that lead to some of the most breathtaking locations that many never get to see.
This place isn't even advertised really at all on any of the brochures or anything. These are some of the oldest artifacts you can see in Australia. This is insane.
I'm Patrick.
And I'm Anya.
And join us on our lap of Australia as we begin to settle into life on the road as we explore the Flinders Ranges. Life on the road so far has been pretty good, and we're slowly adjusting into living full-time on the road.
Anya's discovering shopping's expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, it turns out we don't need avocados.
We're stocking up on supplies before heading deeper into the outback, with the Flinders Ranges next up on our route.
So as you can see by the mountains around us, we're coming into the Flinders Ranges and we've got to find somewhere to stay for the night, and I found this on the maps. It's called Rawnsley Park Station. I've heard it's good, especially if you can be unpowered. They've got really good like bush camping, so we'll hopefully roll in, find a little bush camp somewhere with a good view, and yeah, relax.
Rawnsley Park Station is a working cattle station that has quite a good caravan park with great views looking over to Wilpena Pound. They've even got huge fields full of locusts, so we had plenty of fun running through them.
I have a suspicion it's a locust, given that the fields are teeming with them. Off to eat a farmer's crops.
Yeah.
If you're planning a trip into the Flinders, I reckon it's a great spot to get started with a perfect launch pad into the national park the following day.
Just driving around this Rawnsley Park Station, like the mountain ranges are spectacular. Like they're rivaling the quality of the high country in Victoria in terms of like the grandness of them and like the rock faces and the formations. Like it's really, really cool.
Yeah, because it's so clear. The bird life is crazy. Then it's so easy to see them flying around.
We've seen more birds of prey here, I reckon, than like
anywhere else.
else. We're just watching out of the window a flock of what birds are called?
I reckon they're black kites.
I've never seen that many birds of prey flying together like that. It's absolutely incredible. Get another shot of that one. That's
awesome.
Nuts. All right, so I've arrived to Puggalist Hill. It's a little lookout on Rawnsley Park Station, looking over Wilpena Pound, and my God, it's like 360-degree views. But that is our next target, Anya. We are heading into the national park, into Wilpena Pound. Going to hopefully stay there a couple nights and do some hiking and just, yeah, explore. I'm pretty keen to see what's inside there. So, yeah, let's get into it.
Our first stop was a hike up to Arkaroo Rock. This offers a glimpse into a history that stretches thousands of years, and the paintings found here tell the curation story on how Wilpena Pound was formed. The story goes two giant serpents shaped the landscape as they travelled through the ranges, giving Wilpena Pound its distinctive look it has today.
So when Matthew Flinders and John Eyre actually had their expeditions into the centre of Australia, they were looking for fertile pastoral land and hopefully an inland sea. They'd actually think there could be an inland sea inside of Australia. But all they found was arid...
airplanes.
No. Bloody hell.
God! Bloody hell.
One thing about Wilpena Pound, there's a lot of aircraft flying around here. It does feel like you're at an airport. Anyway, back to my story. Matthew Flinders and John Eyre were trying to find an inland sea or fertile land in the centre of Australia. All they found was arid country, so they were a little disappointed, but they never actually came inside of the Flinders Ranges. They never really got to see inside of here. Now, there were expeditions later on that came in here, and that's when they discovered some of this pastoral land that is very green, because if you imagine Wilpena Pound, the reason it's called a pound is because if you look at it from the air, it's almost like what would you call it, like a fishbowl?
Yeah, it almost looks like a big meteorite landed and made a crater.
It did. So all that rain runoff runs down into the pound, thus having all this green pasture. So there's a photo up there, mustering sheep, Wilpena Pound, 1937. So look at all the sheep out there. But here they're just saying on this sign that it was too clear and they ate all the pasture and then they couldn't run it anymore. Oh, the old shed. I gotta check out the old shed. Blacksmithing. Look at that, the old stone wheel that they would have used to sharpen tools and such. It's really quite a thing to explore, these old stations. Like, I don't know, and that's a lot of things. Like, yeah, this isn't the most riveting stuff in the world, but I think it's important to have a bit of an understanding of why, why people were settling in these areas and why all this infrastructure is brought out here, and you know, why these roads are shaped the way they are today when we travel on them, and why there's train lines here, and why there's all this, and it all relates back to the histories, you know. So I think it's worth giving it just a little bit of time to explore.
That night, we were camped up in the very touristy Wilpena Pound Resort. This gives you the best access to all the walking trails, but it does get pretty busy.
It's a cold night in Wilpena, isn't it, Anya?
No.
Even got the awning out tonight just to try and keep some of the dew off, because it's been getting just colder and colder every single day.
Yeah.
That it's like, before we even go to bed, dew's already forming on our chairs. So yeah, we've got the awning out to keep some of that down. Anya's got a really beautiful dinner on the cook. Caravan park's definitely filled out a bit, but we got a pretty nice secluded spot over here in the corner. So Anya, what have we got?
We've got steak with some rosemary, which we pinched from one of the caravan pugs, some honey broccoli and potato.
How good.
And garlic. Can 2 sandwiches fit into one bag?
I don't know if you can, Anya. I don't know if you can.
Now, the main draw card for Wilpena Pound is the hike into the pound itself. So the next morning, we were off and into it. Now, the pound has quite a bit of history to it. They actually tried not only running cattle, but actually trying to grow wheat in it. Now, this never worked out in the end, but with a short walk up to the lookout, you can get a good perspective on why the pound looks so promising, especially after a bit of rain. Now, if hiking's not your thing, this next part is for you, because we're getting back in the 4B to tackle some of the best tracks in the Flinders.
So while you're in the Flinders Ranges, one of the great scenic drives to do here is Bunaroo Road. One of the most iconic forward driving roads, I'd say, in Australia. We're at the Razorback lookout here in South Australia, in the Flinders Ranges. Every single South Australia advertisement has this road in it. Every single Instagram post of the lap around Australia has this road in it. It is like very iconic. So we're down in the Bunaroo Gorge now, and a fair bit of water down here. We're obviously in the flood. When it's really floody, this would be like a proper river through here, but right now it's just a gravel bit with some small amounts of water, but still really nice.
Continuing along the Bunaroo Road, you arrive at Brakina Gorge. Now, at first glance, it just seems like another stunning section of the Flinders Ranges, but this place is actually known as the corridor through time.
Feels like we're heading into the land before time.
As the road winds through the gorge, it cuts through rock layers that tell a story stretching back hundreds of millions of years. And right here, besides the riverbed, sits one of the most important markers in geological history, the Golden Spike.
This is the Golden Spike. It's essentially the dividing line between two very different times on planet Earth. Below here is when it was snowball Earth, when it was all completely frozen. And then above here, where it changes color, is when that dried out and complex life was actually born on Earth. So this was originally ocean, essentially. We were at an ocean. So this gave birth to more complex multi-celled life, and it's marked right here. And this is the only evidence marking of this in the Southern Hemisphere. There's another one in the Northern Hemisphere, but it was discovered like hundreds of years before this. So this is very, very important in the geology world. And it's right here in the Flinders Ranges. It's definitely one of the most scenic, geologic tracks I've ever done.
Yeah.
It all goes way beyond my head, I'll be honest. But like, it's cool, it's spectacular, nevertheless.
Just pulled over and those like yellow-footed rock wallaby. It's meant to be like a really good lookout for them. There's a big colony here. And we've already seen 3.
All right, got a little bit of rain tonight, so we got the awning up, fire going. Haven't deployed the tent yet because I'm hoping the shower's gonna pass pretty soon. The weather maps say it will. But yeah, we're hunkering in under the fire, but this is a really, really nice camp spot. So with the awning out, can still dry the towels too, which is really convenient. That was half the reason I wanted to put this towel rack on the carrier, is because I knew that it'd be under the awning in these times. So it's great that we can still dry our clothes even when it's raining. And Anya's around here in the kitchen, which the kitchen, when the awning's out, the kitchen, it's really fully enclosed. It works really well. So we got the air fryer running, Anya's doing some chips, and we're having parmas tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. So we rolled into camp tonight with not as much power as I'd hoped. We only had around 50%. Now, with my setup, when the sun is out, you don't think about power because all the panels on the roof, we've got plenty. but when there's no sun, it's heavily reliant on how many, kilometers we're doing that day to charge the batteries. Today we didn't do that many, so yeah, not a heap of power on board, but that's another reason why I brought this gas bottle, is because when we are low on power, we can still cook dinner like we are right now. Oh, the farmers are here.
Perfect, come on. Grab it, grab it.
So since we have nice weather, we're doing many things at camp. I'm doing some work on the laptop, Anya's been doing her thing. But I think it's time for the first haircut of the trip. We actually brought all our own hairdressing stuff with us, so we can do this along the trip. And yeah, the long hair's starting to really annoy me, so...
Let's get cutting.
Let's get rid of it.
I don't know, maybe that one went a bit shorter here than I would have liked. But...
Best thing about this, you've got plenty of time to grow it back. Thank you very much, Anya. I'm looking hella good. This is good. Thank you. All right, and in terms of the shower, this is the setup. So pretty basic bucket. Then this is a 12-volt shower, so it's got a little battery in it, and then you press the button, and then water comes out of the shower head. So that is how I'm gonna shower. But this is what we chose to do. We do have one of those gas showers that heats it up as you go. It's like instant hot water, but that is so small. The bucket packs up so small. Lightweight, easy to carry with you, and yeah, you just fill it up when you need it and have a shower. Now if you did want hot water, you just obviously use the gas cooker, put some hot water into it, and there you go. But I'm gonna have a cold shower because can't bother with that, so let's go.
The next morning, we were up early and on the road, heading to the northern Flinders to explore the historic mining town of Blinman.
This is actually the tallest town in South Australia, believe it or not.
No way.
We're up there, like 600 and something meters in altitude. But Blinman's not famous for that. It's famous because it was an old mining town, specifically mining copper. So we're gonna go check out that mine later on. But first, I wanna get the famous Cornish pasty, which the miners used to eat. So let's go into the bakery and have a look. All right, so I've been told to try the miners pasty. Apparently it's the go, because essentially a miners pasty, it's 3/4 meat and veg, but then 1/4 dessert sweet. So it's got sugar and I think apple in it and stuff. So this is a good meal. And apparently it has this hearty crust here because the miners, when they're working down the mine, they got covered in, dirt and bad stuff. You could hold it from the crust, eat it, and they used to throw the crust back down the mine as a thing to ward off bad spirits and stuff to feed the mine. So yeah, pretty interesting.
Now, Blinman is home to the largest historic copper mine in the northern Flinders Ranges. It was discovered in 1859 by a shepherd named Robert Pegleg of Blinman, and it became a full-on mining town almost overnight. In the 1800s, copper was being used for telegraph lines, early electrical wiring, shipbuilding, steam engines, and even coins. They'd follow the copper veins through solid rock, removing the ore, and what you're left with are these massive hollowed-out chambers. The mine here at Blinman was almost entirely mined by hand, using hand rock drills to drill holes for explosives and wheelbarrows to remove the rock. Due to Blinman's remote location, getting the ore to market was often harder than digging it out of the ground. With no railways, no proper roads, everything had to be hauled out by wagon or camel. So even when they were digging good ore, most of the copper value was eaten away by getting it to Port Augusta or Adelaide. Blinman's definitely worth the drive out to, especially for that pasty, but for now, we'll be turning our tracks to the east, following a remote outback track to a place we will highly recommend it to check out.
Aussie Arvos merch is finally back. If you've been waiting to get your hands on the iconic Aussie Arvos hoodie, our t-shirts, or any of our awesome accessories, then now is the time. All you gotta do is head over to aussiearvos.com.au and check out the whole store.
So we've just arrived here at Chambers Gorge, and wow, makes me want to speak quietly. That's how scenic it is. And to think I was actually probably going to skip this place, it's a bit off the beaten track. I was like, we might not bother with it, but am I glad I did. Got a really nice cool free camp here. We've got some Aboriginal artifacts to go see tomorrow, and these gorges are just insane. So we're going to sit around camp, soak it all in, and we'll go and check it all out tomorrow.
Okay, we're just gonna leave it at that. It was fine until the very end, right?
The next morning, we headed off in search for the Aboriginal petroglyphs that could be found in Chambers Gorge.
We're just walking through this huge riverbed surrounded by these huge cliff faces. Honestly feels like something out of America or something looking out there, doesn't it? It looks like the Grand Canyon or something. Now when you are doing fairly remote walking, no reception, not really any walking track, I always like to carry one thing, and that is my PLB, my personal locator beacon. I've got one from GME. They're super small, compact, waterproof, throw them in your bag, and then if the worst was happen, you know, snake bite, I don't know, got lost, whatever, in the worst case scenario, you can press that button. But it's just cheap insurance, especially out here, because it's all pretty wild. It's just insane how much water is around right now. Like these usually dry little streams and creeks are just flowing full of water. It's really nice to see. Wow, this is very nice. Yeah, and the fact that like we're the only ones here, like this place isn't even advertised really at all on any of the brochures or anything. And like, it's probably the most spectacular thing I've seen in the Flinders. Oh my God, there it is. Look.
You can really see the carving.
Wow. So I think this would be like a spot where they do a lot of initiations, and I mean, look at this place. It is absolutely spectacular. So there's all different markings showing of like how many people were here and who was it that was getting, you know, inducted or whatever. We're in a very, I'd say, culturally sacred spot right here. Very, very important. This would be where, yeah, initiations where like children become into men, you know, and they probably get awarded certain things and given new responsibilities and roles within the mob, and all that history is documented on these rocks. I read that these are been dated to 10,000 years.
Wow.
Which is just, how can you even comprehend that? That is 10,000 years ago, like that is, and they're still here on the rocks today. 10,000 years, like this place, it's nuts. Like these are some of the oldest artifacts you can see in Australia. And to be able to get this close, have no one be here, no fences, no signposts, no anything, it's bloody special. Like it's very rare these days to be able to get so close to something like this. You could just imagine like what it would be like, the initiations, the ceremonies, sitting here with the fire, river running, and being told stories and being like, it's just, you definitely feel it here. I mean, I've never been to like somewhere like the Vatican or some famous place in Europe. I've never been overseas like there, but I imagine this is the same sort of feeling you get when you go to like one of those sacred places, like being in, this is what it feels like. And I just love how this Chambers Gorge just seems so undiscovered here in the Flinders. Like it's the one part that hasn't been like commercialized or like, you know, all the signs everywhere and the big car parks and everything. It's not, you gotta get in your 4B, get down here and walk and get rewarded to something like this. And it's just, yeah, it's freaking awesome. Like this is what it's all about.
Good recommendation.
Very good recommendation. And we were so close to not coming here. Man, such a wicked spot. Well, I'm gonna say that was a highlight for me, Anya, in the Flinders.
Yeah.
That was really, really cool to see.
Following Chambers Gorge, Anya and I travelled further north, staying in the Gammon Ranges for a few nights before tracking back across the Flinders towards the Blacktop. The Flinders was one of the most remarkable landscapes I'd ever seen, and it had way more history than I ever could have imagined. So if you're planning a journey into the centre of Australia, definitely stop by into the Flinders Ranges.
Alright, so I thought to finish off our stay in the Flinders, why not drop in to the Prairie Hotel? This place is very well known. Today it looks extremely busy, so hopefully we can even get in there. But it's got a stunning backdrop with the Flinders behind it, and it's just, yeah, a sick looking pub. So I guess let's pull in, try find a park, and try find a spot, eh? Anya ordered the hummus, and I was a little disappointed by that order, but then I tasted it, and it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it is good. Don't knock it till you try it, Patrick.
Yeah, it was actually quite nice hummus, but I'm excited for what's coming next.
Smells good, actually.
So I wanted this so we could try multiple different of the feral animals in the area. We got goat, we got an emu, we got a camel, and we got a kangaroo. Hold up your favourite. Wow, the kangaroo was your favourite. That's my favourite. So we finished our feast, but we thought we'd better come outside the front and have a beer, because that's what, you know, the view and watching the sunset is what people all want to come here and do. So it's very nice. They also brew their own beers, which is what I'm having, like a hazy IPA, which is nice. And Anya's got the ginger beer.
Yeah.
Cheers.
No, cheers. Thank you, Buckley.
Also, fun fact, in South Australia, they call schooners, well, they call schooners...
They just mess the order up.
Pots in Victoria are schooners. So a schooner is only 200 and something mil here in South Australia, and then pint's still a pint, but then a pot is not a pot. It gets confusing, but they do it different here, as I've learnt. One place we didn't really talk about in the Flinders was the Wilpena, the fossil area. So these fossils and these creatures are the first multi-celled organisms, and the biggest evidence of that in the entire planet is here in the Flinders Ranges. So yeah, definitely worth going out and checking those fossils if that's something you're into.
Patrick's like, why would you go and look at fossils when you can look at train railways?
Lines. And this leads us really well into the next episode you'll see, is where we continue on back onto the old Garn line, following up through Unadada, and that's where we're going next, the Unadada track. So I'm very excited for that. But for now, we'll embrace the old station of Parachilna and continue further north onto our next adventure.
Yeah, Patrick's taking me to the Garn.
No, this is, can't afford to take her on the Garn, but this is as close as we'll get.
Next time, we tackled the infamous Unadada track. We explored the opal capital of the world, and we find ourselves right in the middle of one of Australia's wildest motorsports events. That's all next time on Aussie Arvos.